Hello, this is Dr. Jim Del Rosso in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm very happy to discuss an article, Psoriasis Therapy Beyond Biologics, which is in Skin, Volume 5, Issue 6, hot off the press from November 2021. And it's written by Connor Buechler and colleagues, Linda Stein Gold as the senior author, talking about some of the therapies that we have beyond the biologics, and there are many of them. And the goal is to match the treatment with the needs of the patient. So we see a lot of patients with psoriasis. Many are relatively new to us. Many have had the disease for a short time, but many have had it for a long time. So we have to look at our menu of what options we have available. Some of the older therapies that we have that is still applicable are phototherapy. PUVA has been used more often in the past. We typically use narrow band UVB where we have it available. It is very helpful. And then there are the conventional systemic agents that we've had some time. Oral agents like methotrexate and cyclosporin, which in this article, they actually go back and look at some of the PASI 75 results, such as methotrexate, anywhere from week 12 to 16 can get you 45% of the patients achieving PASI 75. Cyclosporin, there's a range, anywhere from 50 to 97% PASI 75 reduction or achievement at week 10 through 16. And then there's also oral acitretin, which is not immunosuppressive, where methotrexate and cyclosporin are. All of these carry certain side effect baggage and monitoring that may be needed. Acitretin has actually been most helpful for pustular psoriasis. And when used in combination with phototherapy, and most of the studies were with PUVA, was shown to be very helpful. In and of itself, it tends to lag behind in terms of response for chronic plaque psoriasis, but it is an option. Now, there are newer topical therapies, and some of the advances have been with formulations with tazarotene, tazarotene in combination with halobetasol in a polymeric emulsion. That combination therapy provides something new in a very well-tolerated vehicle. And also calcipotriene betamethasone, we certainly have in a foam, but we now have a new cream formulation. It's the first time we've had a cream. So we have the conventional options and options we've had for years, and we have some of these newer topical agents that primarily are advances in vehicle. And then with the orals, we have a newer oral agent, a small molecule, a phosphodiesterase 4 inhibitor, apremilast, which is for those patients where you're not necessarily ready to step up to a biologic, or there's a reason why the patient may not be able to go to a biologic. They're a patient where you would consider systemic therapy or phototherapy. Apremilast doesn't require, at least according to the product monograph, any baseline laboratory testing, but there are some patients that can get GI side effects that sometimes get in the way. We can typically get around them with the starter, starting at the lower doses with the starter pack, and addressing those side effects with some therapies and simple modifications, but sometimes patients cannot tolerate it. And then we have some newer topical agents coming along that are not yet FDA approved. We have a phosphodiesterase 4 inhibitor topically, roflumilast, which is different in its profile than crisaborole, which is a PDE4 inhibitor approved for atopic dermatitis. Roflumilast is in a vehicle where it's very well tolerated thus far. The data for psoriasis, including intertriginous psoriasis, are very promising, and it's also being evaluated for atopic dermatitis and seborrheic dermatitis. And then topical tapinarof, which in the phase 3 data, as with roflumilast, but topical tapinarof also in the phase 3 data of showing to be very effective for psoriasis. It's a nonsteroidal agent that modulates aryl hydrocarbon receptors, and that is another a known pathway that seems to be operative in atopic dermatitis, but also in psoriasis. So it's actually being looked at for psoriasis first. It's been submitted for evaluation by the FDA. The phase 3 studies have been completed, and roflumilast has also completed its phase 3 studies. Down the line, right now, we are studying topical tapinarof for atopic dermatitis. So there is some crossover in the mechanisms, but these are definitive mechanisms that are operative in psoriasis, and we welcome new topical nonsteroidal agents.